Welcome to the KJ Today Show. We are about to chat with Ed Quinn. Ed is known for his role in Eureka, which I absolutely adored. He is the president on Tyler Perry's The Oval, which is back. And on the day that we talked, his first single from his new upcoming album, Freak Show Cold, had just come out, and we were so excited to be talking about Ed's new music and about the music that we love and bringing the guitar solo back. So stand by for Ed. Before we get to that, I do want to remind you, I can't believe it's finally happening, but my book is out, Raised by Cats, Behind the Mic and the Meows. It is the story of how I became the kitty correspondent for Pet Pals TV, from my first word as a baby kitty to many, many conversations later. This is a fun gift for any cat lover that you know, and a great book for anyone who wants to have a stronger human-cat bond connection. You can get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Books A Million, or just go to my website, kjtodayshow.com. And now, let's talk to and welcome to the KJ Today Show, actor, musician, Ed Quinn. Are you with me, Ed?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You are coffeeed up and ready to go, I just saw on Twitter.
Coffeeed up and ready to go. It's 6:40 a.m. on a Monday here in California, but how are things in Indianapolis? I haven't been there in a while. I was going out there every year when the MotoGP was in town.
Oh, my gosh, yes. I'm so sad that was not a race that endured. We do have a lot more action at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but yeah, we're good out here. It's quiet time as far as the racetrack goes, but loud where you are with this brand new single that you have out. How excited are you as an artist? Because I know, like, the creation that goes into these things, the love that goes into these things, to have your first single out in a while.
Yeah, I think it is so much fun. And here's the main reason. Because, back in the 90s, I played in bands and, fought their way through headlining the Whiskey and the Troubadour and putting out tapes and mailing lists and trying to get, labels interested. It was such a hard grind. And, 20-something years later, I have a solid career, so I don't have to worry about, food or rent. And I can do all of this on my own. So it takes all of the pressure off. This is just a labor of love. And, if 19 people see the video or listen to the song, it's totally fine. Because I'm having the best time. And, yeah, today, the modern age, when I discovered what DistroKid was, when my partner Adam Cameron and I built our own studio and could record, what used to be studio level recordings, in our studios we just built, just two of us. It's just amazing. It's a whole new world. It's very artist friendly, and I'm in this wonderful position where I get these guys to create music, and I'm under no pressure.
I love it. So I posted for my KJ crew members this weekend, like, hey, do you have any questions for Ed? And here's the single, and the Oval's coming out. Jake, I wanted to share the entire comment and his question because I thought it was so great. He said, I'm a guitarist who idolizes Joe Satriani. So cool that you worked with him. Loved you in Eureka, and for some reason I was expecting something more chill, maybe acoustic, but I'm pleasantly surprised at how hard you rock. When is the full album out, and when will you tour?
Growing up in Berkeley, California I didn't realize what an absolute gift it was. Because just everybody having a skateboard and a motocross bike and all that kind of stuff, we all played music, and there was this incredibly vibrant musical scene. And it really, there were all these bands, Kurt Hammett and Alex Skolnick, and there were a lot of very famous students of Joe Satriani, but a lot of these thrash metal bands like Exodus and Lost Rocket and Ruffians and that's kind of the music I grew up with, was sort of a heavier rock. It's when I pick up a guitar, it's the kind of stuff I want to play. I'm not playing it for a reason or a stunt. I always feel like the best music an artist can play is the music that they just play organically. I'm not even kidding. When I'm just noodling alone in my studio, it's cranked up and I'm playing heavy, and it's just, that's the music that comes out of me. It's for fun. The rest of the album will be coming out. I'm going to release another single and a video in about a month, and then the whole album will come out in December. And it's this Freak Still Cold is probably the heaviest track, and I kind of did it on purpose to sort of try and get people's attention. The routine, the follow-up that's going to come out in a month, much more straight up arena rock, anthem-y, not as metal, like that, as Freak Show.
Hey, I'm totally good with that, Ed. My first concert was Pantera and Skid Row, and there's not enough rock in the world today.
It's interesting. Bill Burr was on. I saw a clip of him on like Conan or something, and I don't know what it was. He was on one of his rants. It was funny, and he was complaining about music, and no one does guitar solos anymore. And I kind of looked up and was like, oh, it's music's painful. I remember even like in the late 90s, like, one of the reps from Interscope came up laughing after one of our shows, and he goes, wow, nobody does guitar solos anymore, Ed, and there were a couple songs where you did too. And it's not, and I'm not some guitar virtuoso. I feel like my guitar playing, I have a very narrow lane that I sit in, but that's just what I like to play. It's not that I'm trying to be one of these, shred guitar gods, at all. That's just kind of what I grew up playing and how I play. And, the music scene has changed a lot, but it's also why there's so many of those big, rock gods that still are touring in their 60s and 70s, because they sort of were grandfathered in and people miss that music.
Well, and you think about it. I mean, this past summer, one of the biggest tours by far was the Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Poison, Joan Jett tour. When it was here in Indianapolis, it took me 2 hours to get to the stadium. Like, people wanted it. The guitar solo needs to come back, Ed. Lead the way.
Hey, come on, guys, read the room. When I was on Eureka, actually, I had some friends who worked. One of my favorite bands is Iron Maiden. I've seen them so many times it can't count. And I got a couple of my buddies together in Vancouver. Alex Ponovic, big actor, and he's a big Iron Maiden fan. And we go to this, sold out hockey arena. And what struck me was the audience was half guys our age, and guys and girls our age, and half kids, like 14, 13-year-olds. And I kind of looked at him. I go, check this out. He goes, I know. It's all these kids, because this music doesn't exist anywhere else. So here are these, British guys in their 60s who've been playing since they were, in the early 1980s. I mean, these kids, the band is 25 years older than some of these kids that were in the audience. And yet there they were, because they wanted to see this kind of music. And it was, like I said, sold out to the rap, it was just mayhem. And so I don't know. I mean, I guess it's still out there. We're still talking about it. Those concerts still sell out. So rock and roll's never going to die, for sure.
Well, I could talk about, obviously I got into radio because of music. I could talk with you about music all day, but we have to give a little bit of time here to the fact that Tyler Perry's The Oval is back tomorrow. It's season 4. And Janelle wanted me to specifically ask, because she saw your video on Twitter a couple weeks ago, teasing that it's going to be even darker. She wanted to know how that is possible and what you can give us today.
All you have to do is tune in to the first episode. It is, it's, a lot went on in season 3. If I sound like I'm stuttering and talking, because what I'm trying not to do, we're so far ahead in the show, and sometimes it takes me a second to not give away spoilers, because I love my boss, Tyler Perry, but he could also be really scary if you screw up. So I'm going to try and not ruin anything. Hunter kind of goes off the deep end, and not that he hasn't been kind of a train wreck at this point, but he kind of goes off the deep end this season. A lot of the storylines that have been building into our children come to a head, and it goes really dark and really scary, but it also is starting to build into, I think creatively, we're going into a portion of the show that is strongest creatively that we've done yet. So, it's crazy, it's a thrill ride, it's fun, it's escapism, but it's also, this season, Hunter especially goes super dark.
Looking forward to it. I don't think you spoiled anything. Good job. We don't want to make Tyler Perry angry. Ed, I got to let you go. I know you got a lot of other radio tours to get to. You decide to go on the road with this album. Indianapolis is going to show up if you show up, so please put us on your schedule, okay?
Okay. Didn't answer that part of the question. The Swamp Metal All-Stars is going to be I've got just mercenaries that I'm going to back up. Trust me, I will be the worst musician on stage. I'm going to put together a rotating group of guys that can just really bring it. So when we tour, we will, I will make sure we're in Indianapolis.
All right, looking forward to it, Ed. Thanks so much for being on the show. How cool was that? Go support Ed, get his single Freak Show Cold. Follow him on Instagram and Twitter. He is absolutely a wonderful human being, and so glad that we had him on the KJ Today Show. Remember, you can watch the KJ Today Show live on Wednesdays. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/KJ Today. You can also find my celebrity interview playlist on the YouTube channel, so you can go back and listen to other cool stars that we've caught up with. Thank you so much for joining us. My new book, once again, Raised by Cats, Behind the Mic and the Meows, is available for pre-order on Amazon, Books & Noble, or Books A Million, or just go to kjtodayshow.com.